Thank you, Sam and Lucy. And that works very nicely with my talk title this morning, which is Coming Home. Coming Home. As Memorial Day comes upon us, I think we naturally turn our thoughts to gratitude for those who have protected our nation. And when you speak to those who've made that sacrifice, one of the things that they tell you, the motivation for why they went off to foreign lands and did their service, was the idea of home. Home is what they carried in their hearts. It's what they hoped to return to. Some didn't. And home is what they were willing to stand for and defend. So this week, as I was thinking about this topic and the courage it takes for women and men to leave their homes and go defend them, sometimes in far and distant places, I started thinking, well, where does that courage come from? Because I don't think that courage just always shows up when we're willing just to protect ourselves. Often that kind of courage comes when we're protecting something just larger than ourselves, when we're protecting people we love, when we're defending a greater good. Last week I told you about a time in my life when I found courage, and that was when I first saw my niece in the incubator. I was 16 years old, and looking at her and falling in love with her immediately, suddenly I found courage that I had never found before. And that courage was to stand up to my family and tell them, you're not going to treat her like you've treated me. You're going to be patient and kind and compassionate towards her. And I made the determination I wasn't going to allow the patterns that had existed in my life, the criticism, the hurt, the things that we accepted as normal, I wasn't going to have them passed on to her. And strangely enough, it was a huge surprise to me. It was a huge surprise to me that I stood up to these people and that they backed down. That was what was just astonishing. I never thought that was possible. And here's the amazing thing. Things began to change. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't ever completely, but they did begin to change. And for her life, for the most part, she was protected against that kind of hostility and negativity. So looking back, I wonder, where did that courage come from? It had not come from my experience. I did not have that experience of that family that I was standing up for. So where did the idea of that family come from? I think it had to come from a deeper place. A place within that somehow I remembered something beyond this life. And perhaps the soul remembers a home beyond our experience, beyond what we conceive. And perhaps that's why, spiritually thinking, all of us are trying to find our way home. Not to a place, but to ourselves. To a place where we remember who we are, whose we are, and to know what's been true for us. And I wonder if the physical home we seek is not the spiritual home from where we came. And that's the reason we long for it. And that's the reason that we never totally feel satisfied. We keep searching for that comfort, that protection, that ease. Because I think all of us are looking for the same thing: to belong, to be acknowledged, to be accepted, to feel there's some place we can go and we don't have to pretend. We can just be ourselves. I think we spend our lifetimes looking for a home. We look for it in relationships and careers and achievements, money and recognition. But none of these things are bad, you know. And how often do we tell ourselves, when I get this, I'm going to feel safe. I'm going to be happy. When I get the job, when I get the degree, when I get married, when I get divorced. I heard someone said, I've spent years climbing the ladder before I realized it was on the wrong building. We all do that. And I wonder if our whole society isn't doing that right now. We are looking for a material answer for spiritual longings. And materialism can never satisfy spiritual longings. Money's great, but it's not going to provide you that comfort and that ease and that belonging that we seek. And even sometimes just the joy of being alive. Oprah Winfrey, she told the story of how she traveled to Africa. And she went into a village and she saw the small kids, and they were playing with just a bicycle rim. And that they had sticks, and they were using the sticks to keep the rim rolling. And she noticed how this whole group of kids were just laughing and having so much fun. And she thought to herself, they're having more fun than the children of my friends who have bedrooms stocked with toys and electronic gadgets. They are finding joy, which it seems like they have so little. Because joy is remembering what matters. It's that sense of belonging, that we have a group, that we're not on our own, that we have people that love and support and encourage us. This past week, I also had a song come into my consciousness. When that happens, I always try to pay attention to it. And I remember this, it's from a musical. Maybe some of you saw it. It came out in the 80s. I really resonated with it. It was a musical version of The Wizard of Oz. It was called The Wiz. And I first saw it in the 80s, early 80s. Me and a friend, we had scrapped together as much as our money as we could, and we went to see it at the Fox Theater with Stephanie Mills singing. And she played Dorothy. And at a certain point, she brought that entire theater to their feet. There's a song that she sings earlier in the production, is "As Soon as I Get Home." And she talks about, she says, there's a feeling inside that I've missed something, that I once had something, but it's not there anymore. And I think it's a song about taking things for granted. I think many of us know that feeling. The feeling that we once had something important, but somehow we lost it. That something is missing in our lives. That we're not complete. That there must be more out there. That somehow we've got to get to another level. We've got to add something. We've got to become something. We've got to lose something. Now, I know many of you, because people who show up at this teaching, we often have spent years searching for peace, for belonging, for purpose, only to discover the journey was really about finding ourselves, about remembering ourselves, that we had it all along. And that's really that's the conclusion of the story of the Wizard of Oz and the Wiz. As you went looking for it, you had it all along. It was within. And that's the reason that spiritual traditions, they continually remind us to be still, to listen, to pay attention. Because if we spend our whole lives just running over the next hill, searching for something that has been quietly walking with us all along. New Thought, we teach something radical. We are not separated from life. We are expressions of life itself. You are not searching for God. You are a conduit of God. That which you are looking for, you are looking with and have all along. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he says, there's one life, and that life is God's life, and that is our life now. We don't have to wait to get into heaven. We don't have to be redeemed and to know how much we're loved here and now. If we know that we're loved here and now, we will experience heaven, not when we die. Here and now is when we want to know we're loved, we're valued, we're supported. And it's not because Spirit has been offended by some past behavior. It's because we don't open our eyes, because we're too much into the toxicity of our victimhood to step up and say, yes, I am the beloved of God, and I am here to experience the love of God. Not on the other side, but here and now. I'm here to experience the peace, the compassion, the joy. I am a bright, shining light of Spirit's possibility, and I am here to shine on, to be that, to step into it. We're not outsiders trying to get in. We're not spiritual orphans. We belong. The presence we seek is seeking expression in us. And I feel that every Sunday morning when I come here to this center. You know, I usually when I show up, there's only one or two people here, and it's very quiet, and we're running around getting things done. But after 2 or 3 people show up, then there are 4 or 5, and before long, this building is alive. It's alive with laughter and conversations and hugs and people recognizing one another. For me, and I know for many of you, this place has become home. Sometimes I wonder how I became a part of it. It wasn't the home I grew up in Macon, Georgia, I can tell you that. It wasn't even my spiritual home from Atlanta. That community was extraordinary. On Sunday morning, we met at Rich Auditorium, Symphony Hall in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. 700 people came to that building to celebrate. It was amazing. It gave me wisdom. It gave me direction. It fed my mind, but not my heart. It was not until I came to St. Augustine and that I met many of you that I found something different. I found love. I found acceptance. I found a place that helped me appreciate myself and appreciate life, and to open my eyes to what I'm here to do, to be that source of God's love, not to keep waiting on it, to become the blessing of God. There's a long time I was searching for a way to like myself. And I think that's many of us are still searching for that. You know, when I find the right partner, I find the right job, I get the right house, the right car, well, then I'll like myself. But it's an inside job. And you not only need to like yourself, love yourself as God loves you. Because God adores you. Adores you. God thinks you're the very best. It sent you to be the answer to every challenge you're confronting. And it's there to support you, urge you on, encouraging you. Don't give up. Don't settle for second. Done it for too long. Step up and step out and proclaim the goodness from your heart and soul. The spiritual journey is not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who we already are. Christ said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. not somewhere else, not after you improve, not after you fix every little thing wrong, because we're human. It's not easy being a human. And to be a compassionate and loving human, that's wonderful and joyful. You're doing a great job. And so don't burden yourself. Know that you have a power within you. Within you, you have the peace, the joy, the love, the belonging already there. And so as we approach this Memorial Day, we want to remember people who have sacrificed for our freedom. Memory is sacred. And perhaps spiritually, we're being invited to remember something else. Not our fears and not our mistakes and not our worst moments, but our true nature, the source from which we came. You were created from God plus nothing else. You are 100% God stuff in the physical plane. You're not all of God, but all that you are is God. And you're here to love, to be compassionate, to be creative. You're here to be a bright, shining light of God possibility made manifest here now. And so when we step into that, we can stop thinking, where do I belong? And we begin realizing, I belong here. Now is my time. Now is the moment. I belong to life itself. I belong in this presence. Maybe home is a place we don't arrive at. Home is what we become. To know beneath all the striving and the searching, there's always been a presence within us whispering, you belong, you are loved, you matter, you're here for purpose, and you are doing a wonderful job. Let's go out and make a difference. Now, I told you about Stephanie Mills at that Fox Theater. She sang one final song, and that song is Home. And she hit a perfect note. I saw her do it 2 nights in a row. She hit a perfect note, and she brought that whole house, that entire house, to their feet cheering. And that song was, Home is a place where there's love overflowing. And I remember those words because I had not experienced that kind of home. But there was something in me that recognized it, that was my home, that was my true home. Because something in me had always been looking for that spiritual home. The one from which I came from, the one which I knew was true, and the one that was supporting me, and the one that I would return to. And somehow along the way, I discovered that I had been looking for that in all the wrong places. Some of those places were kind of fun, but they were wrong. And I stopped wondering. When I made the decision that I was going to let go of my victimhood, when I made the decision I was going to start seeing myself as God sees me, not weak and wounded, but strong, dynamic, worthy of God's love, worthy of being a channel of Spirit's love and compassion, worthy of having a place where there is love overflowing. The universe opened its arms wide to me, and it's wanting to open its arms wide to you and cry out loud, welcome home, beloved child. I've been waiting on you too long. This is the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
with thee. I wanna know what it's like to be one. Show me now, open me, let my heart merge with thee. Show me now how free it is to be one with thee. I wanna know what it's like to be one with thee.
Thank you, Sam and Lucy. Thank you, Choir of Light. That was amazing.